Have you ever wanted to publish a book? If so, and you don't know where to begin, keep watching because I'm going to share with you the step-by-step process I used to publish my first book. Sat Sri Akal, my name is Sasha Deol and welcome to today's episode. Alright, so I have my notes here so I don't miss anything. And I'm going to walk through step by step everything I did in order to publish my first book, which is called The 7 Pillars of Wellness. And hopefully this video will be useful for you. So let's get started. Step 1. You want a title and a subtitle. Now for me this was a little unique because I didn't have a title or a subtitle or a cover until over halfway through the process because it was just coming together differently for me. But it's recommended that you start out with a title and a subtitle. That way you can get a designer to start working on your cover beforehand. Now the reason you want to have a cover, title, subtitle, all of that stuff is so you have the systems in place to start creating excitement for the release of your book. You want it to be available to pre-order on KDP and you want people to get excited and know about it before it actually comes out. Alright, I'm gonna have to wear this beanie because my bangs are driving me insane. I'm in a quarantine. I have the option of cutting them myself, which I've done once before. It was a disaster. Or wearing a beanie because it's the first thing I thought of. So let's continue. Okay, where were we? Alright. So in terms of finding somebody to design your cover, you want to use Google, you want to use Fiverr, Upwork, or if you're like me, maybe you'll join an organization for independent authors such as Ally. That's the only one I know of. They have a list of partnered people, but that's actually what I did initially and it turned out to be a disaster, which I will share with you at the end of this so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Either way, back to the cover. So you're going to find your designer, you're going to look at their reviews, ask them for their portfolio, look at the past covers they've done, see if their vibe matches what you're going for. So I used KDP which is Amazon's platform for self-publishing, for the ebook as well as for the paperback. And that has its own template generator for the cover, which you're going to send your cover designer. And for the hardcover, I used Ingram Spark, which is linked up to Amazon. So once you have your book set up, the paperback and the ebook, you can link your account from Ingram Spark to Amazon. So all 3 versions and formats are sold if that's what you choose to do. And back to Ally. So this independent authors organization I joined was incredibly useful. And I wish I had reached out to them ahead of time because they have a forum where there's tons of authors who have already been through the process so they can help you with questions you have along the way. So what I was told when I was designing my cover and looking for cover designers is that authors generally have nothing to do with that creative process and you should just tell the person about your book and they come up with the cover with whatever comes to their mind. Now, I like to do things a little unconventionally, I guess, and I knew exactly what I wanted for my cover, so it was a lot easier for the designer, I would say, because they're not coming up with ideas through thin air. And I told them exactly what I wanted. I worked with a couple of people on Fiverr, picked the best one, and was able to get what I wanted done eventually. I have this note. Oh my gosh, this is getting too annoying. So, experienced designers should be able to follow the requirements necessary. Ingram Spark requires you to put things into a template generator and emails you something you can forward to your designer. KDP has its own rules that my designer did not ask for. She just asked for the page color, count, trim size. And that's it. So there you go, that's your cover. You have that done. Alright, so the cover is done and next you want to focus on your manuscript. Once you have the inside of the book done, you've written down everything, you want to review, revise, and edit. You want to make sure everything is perfect before you send it off to the formatter. What I did was I put it through Grammarly, I did a table of contents, I put together a summary for the back of the book as well as an about the author section because those are generally standard when you see any published books. I got a copyright page, which I used a template for. I'll put that in the description. And one of the most helpful things that I did was print out my book and read it out loud. And I feel like that actually made me see how sentences flow, and it helped me change and restructure things accordingly, as well as move things around so it was organized. I also wrote a nonfiction book, so that might be a little different because there's no plot, there's no characters, in terms of organizing it anyways. And I also hired an editor, which I ended up finding on Upwork. Once I had reviewed, revised, and edited my manuscript to my heart's desire, I hired an editor from Upwork. And basically there are different types of editors. You can get one to edit just grammar or other things, organization, all of that type of stuff. Mine was generally just for grammar because I had everything laid out exactly how I wanted it. Alright, and other important things. I purchased ISBNs. You can get those from one website, which I'm going to put in the description. Essentially, you need a different ISBN for your ebook, a hardcover, a paperback. Every format has its own ISBN. If you're just doing an ebook and you're only going to sell on Amazon, they actually provide you with their version of an ISBN, so you don't have to worry about that. Generally, you buy these in bulk, so I got a pack of 10, I think, for between $200 and $300. And I also went to the Library of Congress and applied for a Library of Congress number because I wanted it to be very professional. That's not a requirement, by the way. And these are all things you can be doing in the background while you're waiting for your editor to send back copies, which before you also hire an editor, I would recommend giving them deadlines of when you need things done, especially if you upload your cover and have a pre-order date, all of that stuff, and a release date, which is important. You need to decide the dimensions, font, and format, which I wish I had known to ask a formatter for font samples prior to starting this. I think it would have made it a lot easier. You want to purchase a domain. I just used GoDaddy.com. It was super easy to put up a website just so people can reference your book and you can put additional information about yourself, where to buy it, all that good stuff. And then you want to create a book description for KDP. And I used bold and underlines, all of that stuff in my description. I think it really adds value and makes it, you know, just better. So there are HTML generators online, which I can also put in the description, the one that I used. And once you upload your book to KDP, the paperback and the ebook, you can actually request your book to have additional categories. Generally, it's 2, but if you call them, you can request up to 10 categories. But your book needs to be live before you can do that. And while I was going back and forth with my cover designer, my interior formatter, all of that, I decided to also do an Audible. And basically, you create an account on acx.com, you record your ebook, and then you send it to somebody to mix it, unless you know how to do that, and they get back to you. I'm still waiting for that to be approved. But my thinking behind that was, why not have all formats available if somebody prefers to listen instead of read? Alright, once you have all of your files put together, which is the formatting for print, for ebook, all of that stuff, as well as the cover, there's different formats for each of this. Your next step is to upload them to Ingram Spark and KDP. And generally, you can order proofs if you want to be extra careful. I just used the online preview and hit submit. I know that sounds very bold and daring, but I just feel like with the COVID thing, it seemed like it was going to take forever, and I had planned to publish my book so long ago, and the process just kept getting delayed more and more, so I just hit it, and I'm hoping for the best. I wanted to actually share at least a copy of the cover because I haven't been able to get a book myself since all of the printing is delayed with the virus going around. So I just printed out a copy of the cover, and it turns out my printer is actually broken. I meant to return it or exchange it, and this is what came out. Let me see if I can get a better focus thing. I mean, you get the gist of it, but it's pretty bad, the color. And this was all, you know, directed by me. So I think if you had a cover designer just do it yourself, it would be a little different. Or sorry, do it themselves, it would be a little different. One additional thing I did, I'm gonna try to put this on again, was I got a copyright because since my book was nonfiction, I decided why not be safe than sorry. I don't know if somebody else might come up with this 7 pillars idea and claim it's theirs and I stole it. So I just did that as a safety net. It's not necessary. I don't think, don't mark my words on that. Let's see, what should I leave you with? The mistakes I made. One was believing that this was going to be done a lot sooner than it was. Let me tell you, I started writing this book last August, I think, and the manuscript was completely done by early November, I want to say, and then finding a cover designer and all of that stuff took me forever. And then the initial people I worked with to design the cover, that was the biggest disaster ever. I worked with them 3 months, going back and forth, and something was just off in the spacing and the interior formatting, all of that stuff, and they were charging quite a bit. They were on a partnered list. They're no longer on there because I had posted the result on the group forum asking, hey, is this normal? And this is how long it's taken, which is when I was bombarded with this is absolute trash and unprofessional. So that took quite a bit of time because I ended up having to cancel them and find a new designer just for the cover, and then I found a separate formatter. And once that got done, it was already the end of last month, the end of March. And let's see, what else? One other thing, so I wasn't aware how tedious formatting can be, and I had sent my files, and then when I got the result, I wasn't really satisfied with it, and I had noticed some grammatical errors and whatnot, and I told my formatter to fix that, and she kind of was, I just did not prefer to work with her, I guess. Unfortunately, she wasn't very understanding, even though she knew this is the first time I'm doing this, but some people just like to complain, so that was not the funnest thing. Either way, I got that done, and then when I was recording the Audible, I was reading the book out loud again, and this is a fresh version after months of not looking at it, and I realized although I had paid an editor who had great reviews and everything, I found terrible mistakes, and my book had already been uploaded at this point. So that was really stressful. However, with the delays, since no one's printing anything, I was able to just change it without that many copies being sold. But yeah, reading out loud, a whole different animal. What happened was I went back to my formatter, which I had hoped not to do because she was just complaining about everything, even though I was paying her for this. It's just, I don't like working with people with an attitude. And I got all that fixed, so I re-uploaded everything, and since then I am yet to receive a copy of my book, which I ordered weeks ago, and a couple of people I noted, and they're also saying they're experiencing delays, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully the color is better than this. And I hope that if you watch this video, you don't make the same mistakes and it's a much faster process, because these are all the steps that I didn't know when I started out. I had to watch tons of YouTube videos, read so many blogs, listen to audiobooks on how to self-publish and take notes. So there you have it in this video, probably in hopefully less than 20 minutes. Write down the steps, follow them, plug and chug, and you should be on your way. Incredibly low energy video, I know, but I have been working away all day, and I hope you guys are able to publish the book of your dreams. It is a big accomplishment, and it's really rewarding to, you know, complete such a big project that you put your heart and soul into, and I really hope this makes your process much faster and easier. Good luck, and thanks for watching.